I like this machine. I can just grab it and do a little bit of maintenance for a couple of minutes. My battery wasn't full, so I only achieved a fraction of that, but I wanted to cut open this path here so that when I provide the food to the doggies, I am not walking through the wet and tall grass. So it's from there almost to the door there, but it's definitely better than before, and the battery wasn't really full, maybe 1 bar of 3, and that is what I was able to achieve. But it's better than nothing. Of course, the alternative would be to bring in the horses again, but then we would have to set up the fencing around the palovnia trees that are now making leaves. There is fencing already, but in either case it would have required to invest a little bit of time, and we don't need distractions at the moment. We are already in severe delay, but we did manage to solve the problem there with the bees, and they have to get used to their new home a few meters to the left. We'll see by tomorrow maybe that they all are now on the other side. They have to get the memo. It is now the following Monday after the failed attempt to deliver these saplings on Friday for a number of reasons that would merit to make its own video with some explanations, not to blame anyone, but to highlight and explain. Well, there isn't a problem that cannot be solved, but it is still unfortunate. And, well, cost a bit of time, but I'm happy that we have all the tools so that we can handle situations like that. But then I wish that they were never to happen.
Pero que ni acelere ni nada, que le quite el freno a mano, ponga en punto muerto y conduzca al volante y ya está. ¿Ya? ¿Ya?
So this is just to exert some more pressure, some more force, just to give the other vehicle a kick.
Un poquito, a ver, efectivamente tiene que hacer un poquito.
As you can see, the situation is really unfortunate. So this is going to be a different approach. I hope it works better.
¿no? No.
So I had to pick up the car here in Jaén, which is the capital of another province with the very same name, Jaén. And I thought I'll show you a little bit how this looks like. So this is dominated by everything related to olives. Every square meter where they can put an olive tree, they do. There's also an interesting saying to pay someone like is custom in Jaén, and that means once a year after the olive harvest. Every single piece that is hanging here from the ceiling is accounted for individually. Nothing can escape. Each leg has a label with an identification number. Now Angel is taking one out to have a closer look. And here it is. You can see how yellow the fat is, and you can also notice how it has shrunk. Now the weight is significantly less than when it was fresh. When you start cutting the ham, it is important to keep this fat in order to close the cut surface again, so that it won't dry out. To get your own leg of ham, you can head over to our web shop and order some. There are two options for you to buy the ham. We offer envelopes with 100 grams of hand-sliced pieces of ham, and there is the full leg. In the case of a front leg, it's about 4 to 6 kilo each. Families in Spain keep the leg in the kitchen, and everybody cuts off a slice whenever they are hungry. So here we have the trees, and also this that I talked already about. This is the soil amendment. Let's have a look. Sorry for the wind. So here we have all kinds of native species. Those cannot be confused. Those are oak trees, the same ones that we already have around here. They look pretty okay, despite the way they were in the truck. I was quite worried, but it appears that the way they have been transported, this can be done. Not sure what these are and what the story there is. But it appears that they are about to sprout. Looks pretty okay-ish. Makes me happy, despite all the trouble that we had in bringing them here. The volunteers are on their way. Angel is picking them up at the moment, some of them. We'll see how that goes with all our things. And here you can see there's a little bit of water still left. So that's this depression. There are a few more in there, and it appears tomorrow we can start planting. The wheelbarrows here are to distribute the soil amendment. They will come in handy. I got a new one today also, so that we can do this in parallel. I also got my car out of the shop. That makes things a lot easier. So now that I have my Jeep back, I can easily drive here. It's not recommended for regular vehicles. There are some ruts that you might be able to see. Of course I do have the wrong camera. It's my phone, so it will shake a little bit. But I wanted to see you this, so that you have an impression how this easement now looks like, just because it rained so much. And of course we are now in spring, so here the excavator and the truck worked. There you can see the entrance that he had to make, and here this is a little bit soft still, but in my case it's not so difficult, and the Jeep is not that heavy, so I think this makes for pretty good images despite the shaking. So now I'm back home, and later I will then greet the volunteers that are arriving with Uncle. And there I am being greeted by all the puppies. Let's check on those bees here. So it appears that this is not completely closed. They seem to be able to get in and out. So I need to do a little bit more. There is no queen inside, I would think. But as the beekeeper said, they will continue to try to do something, and eventually they will then stop doing that. And here is pretty much the same situation. They are gathering there, and they might try to build a new nest, but without the queen supposedly this will not work. And the queen should be in there, right next to it. So we will see. He said it takes a few days.